What's going on, boxing fans? It's your boy Matt with Nabs Boxing, back at you guys with another video. But today we are going to be talking about Teofimo Lopez and Ennis. Obviously, that's the fight that was rumored. Eddie Hearn told me that that fight was in negotiations, fell through, but now the fight is Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney, it's looking like. But we'll see what happens, because apparently Teo, with him going crazy on Twitter, apparently this fight could be in jeopardy too. I hope they can figure it out, because I think it's a tremendous fight between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, especially with the breaking news of Ryan Garcia needing hand surgery on his right hand. That rematch between Haney and Ryan Garcia is a no-go, but instead we could be getting an even better fight potentially between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. A clash of styles, a clash of dads, and a clash of egos at the end of the day. These guys do not like each other. They have interesting styles. I feel like Teofimo Lopez, he's got the reflexes, he's got the confidence, he's got the momentum. You got a guy like Devin, obviously coming off a win after that Ryan Garcia performance, and ultimately, having that get back win that's so important for the morale of a sport, for the morale of Devin Haney as an athlete. But at the end of the day, Devin didn't look tremendous. Teofimo looked way better than Devin. And if we're comparing, opponents, Barboza beat Ramirez, and Teo still looked better than Haney did against Ramirez. So I feel like Teofimo definitely has that momentum. Devin got over that hump of Ryan Garcia and, got a little bit of an incline. Definitely didn't look amazing against Jose Ramirez, but, still technically dominated, won basically and virtually every round against Jose Ramirez, but, did excessively move a little bit. And for Devin, I feel like this is a fight that he's always wanted. Devin's not one to shy away from the big names, that's for sure. Devin's always talked about how he wants to fight the best people in the world. He wants the best fighters in the world on his resume, and I think that's something that I've always respected about Devin Haney, because like a lot of fighters, they pad their records. Devin's not one of them. People always talk about his suspicious opponents and saying that Devin, had a sus fight in Mexico where he reportedly, might have lost and whatnot, but they scratched it off, scrubbed it off on his record, and, marked it as a W. But Devin has never shied away from fighting the elite names. Lomachenko, Regis Prograis, Ryan Garcia, the list goes on and on. George Kambosos, some decent names. Obviously, Kambosos, that win maybe didn't age too well, but at the end of the day, Devin's never afraid to fight anybody. This shows it. He's willing to fight Teofimo Lopez. He called out Teo, called turkey, said, let's make the fight happen. Boots and Teofimo fell apart, so Devin stepped in, knowing that Ryan Garcia now has a hand injury. He doesn't want to have the excuses. If he beats Ryan Garcia in a rematch, they're going to say, oh, we just came off from a hand surgery. So now Devin's going straight for Teofimo Lopez. I respect that, Devin Haney. If you're watching this, much respect to you, because at the end of the day, you could have taken any other fight, but you're fighting that top name. On that night in Times Square, Teofimo Lopez by far had the best and most impressive performance, in my opinion, in addition to Rolly upsetting Ryan. But now that Ryan, has reportedly gotten hand surgery and had a hurt hand going into that fight, it makes me think a little bit more. But Teofimo Lopez, is a very difficult fight for Devin Haney, especially because Teo's so explosive. Devin being the more defensive fighter, will he have the power to get the respect of Teo? Will he be fast enough to give Teo trouble? He should be, but Teofimo, like I said, he does have power. He's explosive, and he's probably the most athletic 147-pounder or 140-pounder, in addition, and alongside Ennis, Teo's incredibly athletic in the sport of boxing by the sport's standards, because we've seen Teo's style on his opponents. He's so confident and comfortable in there. As long as he's not the one, chasing you. As long as he's not chasing Devin, I gotta favor Teofimo Lopez in this fight because of the power, because of the explosiveness, and just the confidence that he has and carries inside of the ring. But for Devin, this is a great opportunity for him. He's definitely a live dog in this fight, a very competitive opponent for Teo to be facing, and I think he has a really good chance of winning as well. It's all about Devin, up here. Is he going to be willing to take chances? Because Teo's much faster than a guy like Jose Ramirez, and I think, maybe just as powerful as Ryan Garcia was against Devin Haney, because Teo does have power. So Devin should be a little bit concerned about that, but Devin's got the skill set and the IQ to handle business as well. So we'll see what happens. Leaning a little bit towards Teofimo Lopez, but thank you guys for watching. Let me know in the comments who you guys got winning that one, Teo versus Devin Haney. But thank you guys once again. Catch you guys on the next Navs Boxing video. Peace.